Okay, if you can't touch your toes, that might be a reason why you can't axe kick well, right? So simple, right? If I can barely touch my toes, how am I supposed to be able to do this? You probably can't. Or if you think about it, you can't touch your toes, but you actually can kick that high. You're probably moving through your low back instead of your hamstrings. So if you can't touch your toes, you're kicking really, really high, but you have back pain all the time, that might be the issue. So just, just some little things for you to think of when you go through your flexibility and mobility sessions. Okay, next, stand tall. I'm gonna have you arms up, bend back as far as you can, and then come back. Okay, let me watch everyone do that. Actually face to your side so I can see everyone. Good, bend back as far as you can. Very good. Some of you look like gymnasts. So here's the thing. That's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
If I'm watching a lot of you, when I screen athletes, I want to see like a very good smooth curve that looks like this. If you're looking my hand, so I want everything. I want the hips to come forward, the upper back to go. What I'm seeing with a lot of you is this, just that, and then you wonder why you have back pain all the time. So when we do those dead bug exercises, it's to really keep your ribs down while your appendages move. Because think about that back kick I put yesterday. If I'm kicking, but I always do this, every time I make impact, it strains my lower back. Or whenever I throw any spinning technique or even a roundhouse technique, if I'm not keeping this tight, I'm literally doing this, right? I'm reaching every time, or you're hitting the front leg and you're just using your back. You're really not using your leg. So something to be mindful of when you are doing your kicks. What's next? I'm gonna have you, I'll demonstrate it first. I'm just standing facing the opposite wall. I'm gonna turn as far as I can to the right, and then as far as I can to the left. So everyone turn around. Turn as far as you can to your right. Turn as far as you can to your left. Okay, so one of the biggest things, again, I'm just making a general observation. There's a difference from side to side with a lot of you. One side moves a lot easier relative to the other side. So if you're missing mobility on the one side that you're limited in, that might be a reason why you have a hard time turning into that side, or you have a hard time turning your roundhouse kick over. Makes sense? So again, this is a general screen for yourselves, but a lot of my remote consultation athletes, I'm able to actually break it down and figure out exactly what they need versus just trying to guess. Okay, so the next one, this one's a little funky. So you're going to be in a slight athletic stance. Put your arms across your chest. You're going to keep your lower body fixed, but you're going to rotate just your upper body. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead and stop. So what were the cues? Keep the lower body still, just move through the upper body. So there's a term in strength and conditioning says you have to isolate, then you can integrate. If you cannot keep this still and rotate your upper body, you're lacking stability here to get the upper body to move. So again, when we talk about rotational power, or even talk about like a golfer, like there's a lot of rotation going on with a golfer, but in order to train them first, I have to diagnose, is it a thoracic mobility issue? Is it a neck issue? Is it a hip issue first? Then from a neuromuscular standpoint, can they put that together? Can they keep the lower body stable while the upper body moves? Can they keep the upper body stable while the lower body moves? Right? It's a neuromuscular control thing. Once you put those parts together, then they can swing the club. Then you can have great rotational power. But until you do that, your results are going to be not as good as you want them to be. Okay, so now we're going to make an opposite. It's actually even harder. Upper body is still, lower body moves. See, my upper body doesn't move, my lower body moves. Go ahead. This is like Zumba, huh?
Right.
Okay, so here's the key. Again, it's a neuromuscular control thing. When you fight, or when your master or your coach wants you to do a certain technique, sometimes your body just can't do it. And it's because it hasn't been trained here in these initial stages. So one of the biggest things, Tim, you can probably attest to this, in the clinch, right? You get in the clinch. David Kong, one of my main coaches,
Yep.
super, like, just a master at technique. Yep. So one big thing that he knew how to do, he knew how to be in the clinch, keep that still against the guy, and actually drop the hips and make contact. Right? So back then, it was just like, hey, keep contact, and then hit the lower body. I'm like, I don't know how.
But Jay, what's crazy, if you guys go and look, this was so revolutionary what he did here. Go look at any video from the 88 Olympics or 93 Olympics, and here's what they're doing in close. And it's like, if you don't know what you're watching, it doesn't stand out as much. But what happens when they get in here? They do this. They try and go like that all the time, or they're here and they have to like create space for their body. And doesn't that stand out of how awkward that looks? Right? Everyone else looks really weird, right? But at the time, these are the world champions. That was what they were doing there. So they didn't know how to train the move. They knew they didn't want to get into a short distance, because then your opponent can kick. Right? If we go from here to here, well, now both people have a good opportunity to do that. But they didn't know how to train it. You see what I'm saying? And Doc, that makes sense, right? What I'm saying. They didn't know how to train it. It's like almost like before people knew that airplanes could fly, they knew it would work. They didn't have a formula to do it. And then there's a formula for lift and flight and everything. So again, go back and look at some of those old videos, and you'll see this, like they're doing that, and they're not blue belts. These are three-time world champions doing that.
But it was tougher back in.
Yeah.
So I brought my Wave Master out. So
nice.
One of the biggest things I like to do with my mentors is we go through the stability and all that kind of stuff, but then we make it applicable to the actual technique. So like I said, if you have a hard time isolating the lower body, then whenever you move, it's like everything has to move in order to make contact. What if I can keep contact, but I can drop my hips without keeping this contact? My opponent doesn't know anything has changed.
They can't feel it.
All they're looking at is this and the feel. But I'm in here, I'm able to drop, and I'm able to kick. That is the difference when you're looking at being able to execute a technique and not. Right? It's like, oh, I'm in a clinch. I'm trying to stay tight, but I'm doing this every time. You have to be able to, you rely on this to create space instead of isolating the lower body and being able to do the same thing. So that is where the application is when it comes down to these minor parts. And I like to break it down. One of my athletes, I'm like, okay, how do you like to attack? If you had one chance to score, what would you do? And then I was like, I will do this, X, Y, Z. Let me break down that technique. Let me break down that mentality in order so when you have 1 to 3 chances, you have a better percentage of actually scoring. Because I would rather you do 3 good techniques than 100 crappy ones, right? So just it's quality over quantity. Next up.
Yeah, and you can only do that quality if you understand what you're training. It's like, if you don't know what medicine to take, you take everything. You're like, I took vitamin C, I took vitamin D, I went for a, right? You're trying to do everything because there's no diagnosis. And so that's what's so great about the way you see it, Doc, is that when you can diagnose it, now you don't need to do 20 hours because you're like, No, it's your right hip. It's like that is the answer. It's not my opinion.
Right.
This is it's your right hip. Sorry, right? Like this is how we solve it. Versus now let's do this stretch, and now I'm on YouTube Googling.
Right.
Right, exactly. So no, you're nailing it, man. Keep preaching.
So you imagine all the work that's kind of put into do this on my side, right? If you've looked at YouTube, I've probably tried it. You know, I probably tried it to see how is it applicable to number one, me, and number two, using my eye and able to imparting that knowledge on different athletes. So like, whether you have a hard time keeping the kick on line, you have a hard time coming off the line, to be explosive. We just worked on that last week with some of our athletes. It was really diagnosing the underlying problem. You know, sometimes it's thinking like, I just don't react very well. It's like, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's other things. You know, is it a technical thing that a coach needs to teach you? Or is it something like orthopedic in your body that's not allowing you to do it? Or is it a strength and conditioning thing where you're just not stable? There's a saying, you can't shoot a cannon out of a canoe. Here's a canoe. It's already rocking. You put a cannon that shoots out of it, the canoe's gonna roll. You need to make sure that guy is stable in order to shoot something off of it. So if my body is always really lackadaisical, and when I kick, it goes, versus I'm stable, doing that, it's two different things. All right. So when you're doing your corrective programs or your mobility or whatever it is, there has to be a mentality with it. There has to be a correlation to what you're doing as far as kicking. Okay. So now everyone, feet are shoulder width apart, hands up in the air. I want you to squat down as low as you can, and then come back up. Okay. Everyone down, 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, up. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, up. Okay. Raise your hand if you can't touch your butt to your heels. Okay. So the cop out, I call it a cop out. Why can't I squat? Oh, it's my hip mobility. 99.9% tell me, oh, my hips are just stiff. Right? So raise your hand if you couldn't squat all the way down. Good. Now, if you're raising your hand, this is what I want you to do. I don't know if you can see me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna lie on my back. Bring my hips, my knees to my torso. Go ahead and try that.
A horizontal squatty potty.
Yep. Okay, go ahead and stand up. So those of you that could not squat down in standing, and you can actually pull your knees towards your torso, raise your hand. For you, it's not a mobility issue, right? Make sense? If I have this flexibility,
You can physically do it.
Yeah, I can physically get there. So you're probably going to ask me, why can't I do it? That's why we're going to put all these things together. I even look at your neck motion. I look at your forward bend. I look at your back bend. I look at your rotation. Where is the missing link that's not allowing you to squat? So in a lot of those cases, it's a neuromuscular control thing. You can't stabilize your trunk, let go of your hips, and drop. That's essentially what's happening. So you have to create the correctives to target those specific things. If we think about motion, when I kick, it's your hamstring flexibility, but it's your ability for everything in the front to turn on, to bring it up, and it's everything in the back's ability to let go. Right? That's when I say neuromuscular. That is kicking. Can you activate one part and relax the other part? And then right after, it's the opposite. Right? Then that's I'm contracting the front, relaxing the back. But even before and after I kick, it's a retraction back. If you don't have that sequence, you can't do that. Make sense? So like when you guys are heavy, it's like you're lacking that ability to turn on and turn off. It's not that you're not athletic. It's not that you're not mobile. It's you lack that ability from your training, right? If I teach double kicks with general straight legs versus teaching a proper roundhouse kick first, and then retract it, then I can do that, right? It really comes down to the basics and then adding them on so you can do continuations in your training. Raise your hand if that makes sense. Or it's going over your head. It goes over my head sometimes too, don't worry.
Gold, man.
Okay, so here, everyone stand tall. I want you to bring one hip up. Hold it there. So right now I'm watching, do you lean? Does your hip drop? Now close your eyes. It's like Wobble City over here. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes. Now, switch your legs. So eyes are open. Raise up that knee. Now close your eyes. Okay. All right, everyone open up. So here's a couple things that I'm looking for. When you go up here, eyes are open, okay? When you go here, are you dropping? Are you swaying? Is your hip hiking? So a telltale sign right now is if you're doing this and you're doing this, that happens every time you throw a front kick, right? If I'm here and I'm doing this, that's what's happening when you front kick. So whether you're a Pumse fighter or a sparring fighter, that will come out. Because let's say you're in Pumse and then your hip hikes up every time, and then you're wondering why my front kick looks like poop. You're not working on these components. So the other thing is, if you close your eyes, it's very, really hard. You basically take away one of your senses. So if you look at old school blood sport,
Yep.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, he caught that foot right in front of him, right? Because he's the man. he has good sensory ability. So I'm not telling you to start fighting with the blindfold, but you should be able to hold
Maybe.
leg balance. Yeah. I might get Bolo Young, he's my cousin. but basically, you should be able to hold a single leg bounce, good posture for at least 20 to 30 seconds in my book, if you're going to be a decent fighter. Okay, last but not least, we're going to look at that single leg squat from here, just a partial, and then come back up. Go ahead and do that for me. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, go ahead and switch sides. Hey, I see my mentorship guys killing it right now. I see you, Mike. So right now, again, if you're doing this every time you single leg squat, and then we have you do an action like a single leg jump, like Tim's having you do, right? You're doing this, you're jumping, and then you're holding, right? Or you're doing shift, up, and then stick. If you cannot do a basic one here, there is like 99.9% chance you're not doing it right, doing that advanced stuff. So, and then you wonder why when I come back and I want to take the opportunity, but it's like, I'm trying to move, but I just can't. That's the instability. If you're unstable and you're not strong enough, your body's just going to hold on. It's not going to let you go. Right? So the key is be mobile in the right places. Get strong in the right places. Actually put those actions of activation and relaxation together. Then you can be the ultimate athlete.
Yep.
Okay. So, if you have any questions on how I do this and how I do this with athletes, yeah, Coach Tim put a link there. But here's the thing: you can either guess on your own, or you can have someone that knows what they're doing tell you where to go. So that's the key in athletics and business and everything. I know some of you are younger, some of you are older, but I would say the older guys here, or the older women here who have been around for a while, it's like, why do I work so hard trying to figure this stuff out when it's not my wheelhouse? Like I'm a computer person. Why am I trying to learn about the body when I didn't study this all my life? Right? That's why you pay the person that understands that stuff to shorten that time span for you. Same thing with business coaches. Tim and myself, we have business coaches, because it's a funny thing. Once you come out of school, or once you, like, I come out of school as a physical therapist, and I cannot expect myself to be able to run a business easily. That's why people have MBAs or have run businesses forever. They're the ones that know how to run businesses. That's why I hire them to teach me to fast track that process. Again, it's not overnight, but it's going to make it a lot easier and less painful in the long run. So, I'll throw it back to you guys, but hopefully, again, it may not be answers, but I know it's getting you thinking right now. And that is the key. Do not be complacent. Always strive to be better. And then either figure it out yourself or ask someone to help you. Okay?
Yeah.
So awesome.
So awesome. Guys, let's let me see if I can unmute everyone here. Manage participants. Unmute all. Let's get all the knowledge bombs.
Thank you, sir.
Good. We'll mute everybody. Kick the feedback loop. But yeah, Doc, I appreciate it very much. It's the same thing. Funny story. When we started my parents' taekwondo school, which is now my taekwondo school, 25 years ago, we literally silk screened our own shirts. We got a screen. We burned the image in it by hand. We had a light bulb in the ink, and we were scraping it onto T-shirts. And how good did those shirts look, and how long did it take us to get them? It took forever, and we still have them just because they're the memory of like that. But that's our joke, is that what are we going to silk screen our own shirts when we try and do something? Is no, I want to get the best T-shirt person possible. It's why our shirts look great. It's why Julianne, show them your shirt. Like, her shirt looks killer. I love that shirt with the bees and the pink. I have that one too. I love it, right? Look at that, and the bee on the neck. That's sick. Like, am I ever gonna do that? Not a chance. I could do it if I want to do it as a hobby, make my own shirts. But if your goal is, you can still learn about it and stuff. That if you want to be able to execute faster, that's really how this whole thing got started with us. Was that we're talking about our careers and going, man, if we would have known this when we were 20 and not 30, or if we would have known that at at 19 at Jay's first World Championships, and I think your fight was super close there, right? With Denmark, yes, I think you fought, right? That's a couple of those things we know, and we go, oh man, a couple of these fights I lost here, and I'm like, now it's so obvious you can't unsee it. Just like keeping your body in the clinch, where you try to physically have the ability, and your coach is yelling at you, going, why are you creating space in the clinch, Tim? And I'm like, I don't know why. I guess I stink, but you didn't stink. I didn't stink. I just didn't know how to do these movements. I didn't know how to train my body to execute the plan. So I just think about the things I could have gotten there. And that's why we're so passionate about trying to tell these things to you, because we know no one else is telling them to you, or at least maybe they are, but not from our perspective.
Yeah, Tim, I think even like you brought up Jesper pretty much, right? So
Yep.
it was my first World Championships. I'm 19 years old.
Yes.
Mark, Josh Coleman, and myself are about the same age, and then you have Mark, which is a year younger than us. So we're basically the new guys, the young guys.
18 or 19 by like a week.
Right.
A couple months, or January, a couple months.
And I'm fighting Jesper Rosen, who is basically second in the world.
Yeah.
First match, first day,
Yeah.
featherweight, first day. I'm like, holy moly. So when I talk to our mentorship people, it's like, yeah, there's technique, there's this and that, but there's also a mentality when it comes to training. Like, I wish I would have trained myself mentally to be able to handle that moment. It's like, yeah, physically I was good. I hit him in the head. The first kick, I was up 1-0. Again, that was back in the day when the head kick was one.
Yeah, they over the little dot on the abacus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was up 1-0, and then basically I could not hold him off after that. I didn't have the mental fortitude to stay calm and to rely on my technique, to rely on my strength, because in reality, I had not trained it. I had not been told that you may fight world champion, gold medalist in European games or whatever, first match. No one prepared me for that. But if we know these things ahead of time and we talk about them, and then let's say I talk to a fighter now, like let's say Steve, and then I go, let's backtrack Steve to 10 years ago. And we talk about it's so-and-so. And then it gives them a little anxiety before he even gets to the tournament. That's a good thing. We've basically stressed your body where you have to learn how to deal with it. And then we have different methods in order for you to get there. So it's a lot more full circle than just this squat, this mobility exercise. It's how do you actually put it together? So, I'll go to you, Tim.
Oh,
I'll stop talking.
We need to get the podcast going because that's it. And there's just so much nuggets here we constantly want to provide you. I'm going to build on what Dr. Hahn was saying about the single leg stability. We've done a lot of loading and plyometric stuff built on what he showed us to get us ready in these sessions. I want to go over what I use for my assessments for you, both in training and then for some stuff to get ready for competition. Like we say, we want to assess, not guess, with everyone we're working with. So if I say, yes, you're ready for competition, you're not like, I think Tim's just blowing smoke and he likes, no. Like there's actual data I've been collecting for the last decade of Olympic champions, world champions, cadet level athletes, junior world athletes, ultra world athletes, everything to see, well, when we say you need to have stability, well, how much stability do you need? When Dr. Hahn says you should be able to turn your chin to the side, well, how far? Do you need to be able to do like the Exorcist and spin around with your neck, right? You could, we could theoretically push someone pretty far, maybe not that far, but how much do you need to be able to do Taekwondo well? That's what I want to focus on. The first one, we're going to start with a core stability test. Some of these, for time's sake, will be a little shorter, so I'm going to give you what the progressions I use are. But the first one, we're going to get into a side plank position. If you've seen some of the things we've done side plank, rotational mobility, right? Side plank rotation. So we're coming in through here, the side plank, hip alphabet. But the side plank is good. Who has an idea why side plank is an important assessment for us in Taekwondo for people getting ready for competition? Why is that something that is super powerful? Gordon, hold it up, buddy. I'm going to show you. I'm going to spotlight you. Do it again, right? You're in this position, right? So now we're taking a static position. We're making it dynamic in the fight. So like Dr. Hahn said, if you can't hold this for 20 seconds, what were the odds of doing, right? The movement profile is the same. Now we're loading it. Now you're in that canoe that's moving. You're trying to be dynamic, and all that cannon's going to do is push the canoe down and not have your force go in the right direction. And then you wonder why I can squat 500 pounds, but why can't I make Dato light up, right? There's a certain competitor that we we didn't fight with him, Jay. He was like a featherweight, ended up being a heavyweight. And he became like a big muscly guy. And he was always like, when he's kind of like, kick like that, I will not drop any names, but that's like my person in my head I have of that. It's not about strength and people think that. It's the right type of strength with the right movement qualities, the right expression of it, the right intent of these parts. It's not one thing. So that's the caveat here as we go into this test. The first one's going to be side plank. We need that to be able to hold stability through here and in movement that we're not wobbly. Your goal, beginner level, 30 seconds. If you can get 30 seconds left and right, you're like not a white belt anymore. Good, right? If you can get 60 seconds is where I want most of my people to get to. For big competitions, like for Steven, I would want him at 2 minutes left and right. And that might seem excessive, but for him, I want that because how long is a round? 2 minutes. And I want him, if he needs to stay in this position, fight someone with just his right leg and just be here in the air, that he's not going to start to lose any contractile strength or fatigue, right? Now, for other assessments, that might be I understand there's all different types. We use it for different sports. We're going to go for a minute left and right here. So what I want you to do is get in your side plank position, forearm down to your heels, only the 2 contact points. We are not bent at the side. So we're not going to be like this. It's going to be ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, head are all in one line. We're not going to be here. As soon as you do that, test is over, right? We have to do it with quality in our sport. Okay, so Doc, anything you want to add on side plank there for them from your perspective before I get them up and time them?
I think the big thing is, like you said, just keep it in line.
Yep.
We talked about even like when you roundhouse kick and you're actually bent back, it's maybe you're doing a side plank that way.
Yes.
So again, train like how you want to actually execute a kick. Train like how you want to compete. So keep that perfect technique. Ribs down to your hips. You know, chest is up, but ribs down to your hips. Keep your neck in neutral. Okay.
Love it. Thanks, Doc. Okay, here we go. Everyone, side plank, and let's get up. And in 3, 2, 1, side 1, and hold. There you go. Go. You're up off the ground. Raise your hips up. No saggy hips. Alicia, that is a nice little side plank you got here. Is this your first time? Look at that. She is like chill in. She is chill in. No wonder she works with me and Dr. Hahn. No wonder it's so beautiful. I love it. Everyone else can push your hips up more. See how her top hip is up a little? It's not saggy down. She's not shaking. She's not doing a Michael J. Fox impersonation. She's nice and calm. We're coming up here at about 30 seconds. And so you made 30 seconds. You're not a beginner right now. It's good. We're going for 60.
Dr. Hahn is so proud of you. I talked to him yesterday. Don't worry. He's so proud of you. Wow, your technique is so straight. You're so strong. Maybe you're kicking. Maybe you will knock the other person down all the time, huh? So good.
50 seconds. Here we go. 10 more seconds. And if you're down, just go ahead and rest. If you're shaking, Eli, see, hold the shakes. Your body's inverted a little bit. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Everyone down. So from that position, awesome job, Alicia. From that position, if you start to see any movement quality deficiencies there that you're having to adjust like this a little bit, you're sagging down, we want none of that. And again, this is the base. If it's one thing, if I'm trying to do a jump kick and I have to really kind of reach a little more than I should, and I'm like, try and hit someone in the face, that's dynamic in the moment at the end of a fight. Yes, you're stretching the edges. This is not the edge. This is as basic 101 as we can get, really. I mean, there's some sub-basic here to get people here, but this, as far as like training, would be it. So if you're having any deficiencies here, if we follow that chain, we're gonna see big ones come up after it. Let's flip on the other side. Here we go, other side up. And who's gonna be our person? I'm spotlighting Julianne. Here we go. And in 3, hold on one second, my timer went off. 3, 2, 1, and up. There you go, nice and strong. Look at that position. Our peeps rock, man. Look at that. Look at that. That is awesome. You're looking great. We're 10 seconds in. Try and hold that nice and tight. We have about, people go, how many assessments do you have? We have hundreds. It just depends on what you're trying to assess. I don't do 100 assessments on every person there, because we have to try and line it up towards your goals, towards where you're at, what things you need. Good, Sky. Keep your hips in. Don't let your hips stick out. There you go. Yeah, one line. Good. 34 seconds. You're past the basic part. Keep it tight. Push those hips up. Good, good, good. No bent butts here. Awesome. Hold it. 45 seconds. 15 more. Nice and strong. Good job, Julianne. Keep fighting, girl. And in 5 seconds all the way through. Yeah, easy peasy, right? It's like your regular Monday. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So a couple things that we see from that. The one was really not being able to keep that hip in alignment there in position. That's going to just come up whether it's in the motion. You have to adjust now because the musculature is going to get fatigued. So now you could try and kick from here versus here. You can do it. It's a different kick, right? So you might not have the tool to do it. You might not be able to express the power you want in that position. Okay, so that's one. Again, I'd be looking for 60 seconds just as a general starting point would be it. But 90 seconds left and right. I love that. And then for big, like international, it's going to be the Grand Prix final, 2 minutes. I don't try and get people to do like 20-minute planks. At some point, it's like, again, what's enough? If Steven back squatting 400 pounds enough, it's more than enough. If you can do 2 minutes per side, it's more than enough. you see people do a 10-hour world record plank. Like, it's not going to make you a better fighter, right? At some point, we have to put energy somewhere else, unless their sport is planking. From here, number 2, if you have a wall, you have a couple options here to do. If you have a wall, you can do this against the wall. It's going to be a single leg isometric contraction. It's going to be single leg wall sit or single leg glute bridge. I like the glute bridge somewhat because you have some core stability in here. What this is going to be is single leg in the ground. Get your heels close to your hamstring, just like Doc has do in the mobility piece in the beginning. We are up on our shoulders, and we are in one straight line. I'm not bent here, I'm not side, anything there. I'm up just on my shoulders, not on my hips or my low back. Here, I'm going to try and hold this for 1 minute each leg there, or you can do 1 minute against, obviously, a wall sit with your leg at 90 degrees. So I'm not up here, where I'm obviously a large angle would be a perpendicular right angle right there. Okay, so either one you guys want to get to, go ahead. If you have the wall, you're good. This is, again, 1 minute. We're going to stop there just for time's sake and the things we want to do. But I like 90 seconds here left and right. And then again, for big stuff, I want 2 minutes as the base, not our only goal, but just like that. So I know that if you need to be here and moving on one leg, your musculature can handle the burn and handle the stability there. Okay, so either single leg glute bridge or single leg wall sit. All right, you guys ready to get in position? First leg up. Here we go. And in 3, 2, 1, and go. Good. Excellent. Leg out. Good, Carly. Single leg out. You can drop your hips down a little more. A little lower. There you go. Right there. Hips up off the ground. Lily and Victor. Good. And don't let that leg go up straight. It should go exactly even with your other leg. There you go. Good. No, Sophie and Taylor, get those hips up. There you go. Yeah, no hips down. Straight line. See how your hips are sagging? You're sagging down. We're 30 seconds in. There you go. Hips off the ground. No bent leg. It's all in one exact line. I'll show you guys here one more time. It should be totally even here. Not here, not like anything down. Totally even right there. 15 seconds. No shakes, no movement. Hold it tight. And some of you are already down. That's a sign of revenue. Use our hands on the wall. No hands on the wall. And in 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Awesome. Couple things I'm seeing was, one, that hip was starting to sag down, or we're counterbalancing with our other leg here. We're trying to do this. So I'm trying to take pressure off my low back now. It's got to be here, so my core has to be locked into my hips. And it's all in one. If I do this, the pressure's off. If I do this, it just comes out way easier to do it. Other one on the wall, so I see people holding the wall or holding their legs, right? You have to make sure your muscles are strong enough, not your adjusted parts. Doc, anything to add?
Raise your hand if you felt it in your hamstrings. Right here, in the back of your leg. Did you feel it there? Raise your hands if you felt it in your glutes. Raise your hand if you felt it in your quads. Okay, so when Tim named the exercise, what kind of exercise is it called? Glute bridge.
Quad bridge.
If you don't feel it in your glute, there's a neuromuscular issue going on. So, simple thing, if you can't glute bridge using your glute, what makes you think you're going to use your glute when you squat? Right? So, just something to think about as you move forward.
Yep. No, that's awesome. Here we go. Other leg up. So try and feel it where you're supposed to feel it now. No adjusting, no trying to wiggle through it. You want to be totally as immobile as possible. No shaking, no moving, no adjustments. Here we go. And in 3, get the clock, I got my calculator out. 3, 2, 1, and go. Do I get to pull? Who's doing good? Awesome, awesome. Good, nice, Gordon. Awesome, buddy. You know, great. And Carly, fighting for it, girl. Keep fighting, keep fighting. I like it. We're 15 seconds in. No shaking, no movements, no adjustment. Sophie and Taylor, I see those legs shaking. No shakes. Hold them tight. Yeah, this should be rest. This is an active rest position here. You are in such control of your movement. We made you so strong. so quality driven in your techniques. There's no adjustments. I see hands on the legs, no hands on the knees, Poland's. There, hands off the legs. Yeah, no, yeah, I can see everyone. Yeah, you're coming on spotlight now. There we go. No hands on your legs. Hands off your thighs. Hands are up in the air. Yeah, exactly. That's more like it. 5 seconds left. So you're strong enough. And in 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. Awesome. We feel good. Everyone looked really good on that. And again, the general assessment there, 60 seconds is like beginner. So if you feel like you were having to really fight to get through these basic ones, that means when I push you now hard on other stuff, we're going to start to see some different things come up. We're going to see some imbalances start to be expressed from your training. Okay, next one up, we have a few different options here. It's going to be 1 minute per side. It might be 30 seconds per side, just depending on what I feel. First one's going to be, now we're going to go into contraction stuff. So before it was isometric, now it's going to be a split squat, down and up. Your back knee is just going to kiss the ground, just barely. We're not driving it in the ground with your feet, or your front shin's going to stay vertical, up and down with the left leg. Takes about a second, a rep down and up. If you can do that, fine. We're going to get a small chair or a box. It's going to be a little harder. It's going to be a rear foot elevated split squat. Let's go through a few different versions so I don't have to do every test on everyone. Here you can kind of choose your own poison. So from here, same thing. I'm not getting this up so high that my lumbar, my low back's going to be curved and kind of tight. From here, it's going to go down and up. Same thing, down and up there. That one, if you can do that, where did Dr. Hahn have you do the last part with that single leg and that single leg squat? So we can do that either from the back or from the front. So either one, here, down and touch, or down and up. Okay? So if you're going to do split squat, what I want, well, let's do 30 seconds per leg. Okay? It's going to be 30 reps is your goal. It should be a second a rep. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. It's consistent, down and up with no bad movement. If you can do that, I want 20 rear foot elevated split squats. That's with our foot back on the chair, down and up in that 30-second period. Or I want to see 15 single leg squats. That'd be your assessment goals in 30 seconds. And normally it's 60, but I just don't want to have this be overkill. Okay? So you choose which one you want. Again, option 1 is just in place. And if you have any issues here, below that, I know like for Emily, we're just getting back in the game right now. This could be a single leg hold. Just hold right there. Totally fine. Same thing, right? It's similar to what we did already. Single leg assessment there. Split squat, down and up. Touches the ground to all the way extended, not, I did 30 of these. Good, I don't know what you did, right? River elevated split squat or pistol. Sound good? Thumbs up? Okay, who's going to be my demo people? It's going to be the Polands. You're on the spotlight. Here we go. What's up? How we doing, Pops? Here we go. And 30 seconds on the clock. How many reps can you get with good reps? And in 3, 2, 1, and go. All the way down. A little deeper. Deeper. Lower. Good, TJ. Lower. There you go. Down. Good. Deeper, deeper. 15 seconds. Good, chest up. Good, nice, Alicia. Now keep pushing. Keep pushing. And in 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good, okay, awesome. A couple of things we see on that is to try and get the number there. We see 2 things happen. One is upper body noise, meaning we're doing our rear foot split squat here, and to get through it, we see people like I'm trying to get my hips engaged now. I'm using my arms. It should be just silent here, meaning down, nothing, down and up, right? No other movement. I'm using my musculature to get me through it, right? Number 2 is we shorten the reps, meaning our quality is good, but our range now is here, right? So we say strength is trained within the range we can train it, right? That I don't want it to be a shorter range. We don't need it to be crazy. Like, we're not figure skaters where I'm going to try and get you to do this. That's Dr. Hahn at Cirque du Soleil. right, doing that stuff. But we need to have a good range of motion here. So let's get the other leg up. Here we go. I see Sophie and Taylor on here. Here we go. On my count, 30 seconds. You're on the big screen. The pressure's on. And in 3, 2, 1, and go. There you go. Down and all the way up. Good. Down and up. Awesome. Excellent. Nice, Gordon. Nice, Gordon. Good. There you go. Boom. 15 seconds left. Nice and solid. Look at them cakes. 10 seconds left. Yep. 5, 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. Awesome job. And relax. Good job, Gordon. So you can see again, 30 seconds. Who here at 30 seconds started to feel it burn just a little bit? Right? So that's why it's normally a 60-second test. 60 left, 60 right. That's a 2-minute round. So you see how I'm trying to structure everything around the needs of the fight for you right there. Okay? Last piece. And then what you're going to notice too is that you're not going to have the fuel or the output to keep moving at that pace. You're going to slow down. And then who here starts to slow down at the end of the fight a little bit? Yeah, everyone. That's what happens. So that's part of why you can't just be fast. You can't just be enduring like a marathon runner. They can run long like this, but we have to be able to go fast and hit strong like Dr. Han does. We have to be able to do that and hit it over and over and over again. So here's our last piece here. It's going to be a little conditioning part we're going to do. It's going to be 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. The first movement is going to be our split jumps or lunges. So we're hitting more single leg work, right? So again, it's either just lunge in place or split lunge. Or if you can, I want jumping lunges, switching legs down, up for 20 seconds. Many as you can do, right? So now instead of the isometric holds, we're going to get into contraction output. Number 2 would be V-ups. So we had our side plank. And here I want from out all the way up to the middle, out, up, out, up. Notice my legs are straight here. I'm not doing this. We need flexibility in our sports. We have to test it here with core stability. So down and up and a little bit of flexion. Up in the middle. Okay. From there, number 3, I want mountain climbers, but I want them a certain way. We need something to have, like, I wouldn't do like double unders or something, but jump rope isn't good. From here, the way I want your mountain climbers are, instead of our hips up and our knees only come up so high here, I want my knee to come up into my chest. My hips are down. My knees are in. It's going to be really fast getting it all the way in. So hips are down, knees are in. And what's our 4th one? What should we do? Alicia, I'm going to give you off mute. What should we do for our 4th one? We have jumping squats, split squats. We have V-ups. We have mountain climbers. What should be number 4?
Gotta be burpees, Tim.
Oh, I wasn't gonna do it. But you say is burpees. Who am I to argue with you, ma'am? That's on you. Everyone can be mad at you. But burpees, and here's how I want them for taekwondo. It's gonna be chest all the way to the ground. It's not this, right? I want your chest to the ground as fast as you can, right? One motion, down, jump, up, fast, down, up, fast, down, up as fast as you can. Chest to the ground, jump and clap, and get back down on the ground. Okay? It's 1 point for every repetition you do. So here's how I want you to score it. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. V-ups, 5, 6, 7. Mountain climbers, every 2 reps. 9, 10, 11, like that. And then burpees, 12, 13. Count your first round. Go as hard. I'm not going to tell you what number I'm looking for just yet. Sounds good? All right, here we go. I'll put up Gordon on the big screen. It's so good. First one up is jumping lunges or split lunges, your call. All right, be safe on your body, of course, but jumping lunges is what I'm looking for. If your knee's good, take it out. Here we go, 20 seconds. Each one will have a 10-second rest. Go hard, guys. 3, 2, 1, and go. Push. Good, get some height. There you go. Don't hit the ceiling though, bro. All right. Good job. 10 seconds left. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Good, excellent. 5 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Very good job. Here we go. On your back now for V-ups. Legs straight, arms straight. There you go. You're on the big screen, Sky. Here you go. And go. V-ups. Out. All the way up. Touch your toes. Straight legs. No bent knees. Every time you bend your knees on a V-up, you kill a kitten. It's a fact. All the way up. Good. Out and up. Good. Touch your toes. 5 seconds left. You got it. Good job. Good job. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Flip it over. Now we have mountain climbers. And Gavin Grant's on the big screen. Here we go. Mountain climbers. Left and right makes 1. Hips down, chest up, and go. Good. Left and 1, 2. Hips down, knees up higher. Knees to your chest. Think of the mobility piece Dr. Hahn showed us in the beginning. We need those hips in and our knees up. Not our butt high and our knees low. 5 seconds. Here we go. Come on, all the way through. 1, and rest. Everyone stand up. There we go, on your feet. We're finishing with burpees, chest to the ground. Literally touch your chest on the ground. Jump and clap. 3, 2, 1, go. Count your burpees, go. All the way down, no, chest to the ground. Touch it, touch it. It's not a metaphor. It really happens. Good, awesome, awesome. There you go. 10 seconds left. Come on, TJ, get it. Jump and clap. Oh, no, sad burpees. Jump and clap. And rest. Good. 30 seconds, just so we know. Watch this. Everyone, eyes on me here. I saw a couple. We call these sad burpees. And here's a sad burpee. I'm not naming names. This is what I see. We go down. We go. No. Up, extend, back down. Then up and extend. The whole thing. We don't get to get reps by shorting the motion, right? Look, I did 10 kicks. No, you did 0, right? The whole thing. Okay, round 2. How many reps did you get? Show me with your hands, like 53, 31. How many did you get? Everyone. Good. So what I need this round, Gordon, how many did you get?
Gordon, how many did you get?
72, sir.
72, good. But I want everyone to do this round. You have to give me 5 more reps total. 5 more reps total this round. We have to get better as the fight goes on. We don't get worse. Okay, round 2, here we go. And in 3, 2, 1, jumping lunges, go. Up. Hey, Keats, jump up. There you go, doing right, good. TJ, Matt, that's right. Give me some more air, buddy. It's not the Russian dance. Height, height. There you go. Push it. 1, and rest. Good, on your back now for V-ups. Here we go, and in 5 seconds, let me see some good V-ups. And Carl, you're on the big screen. And in 3, 2, 1, and go. V-ups, quickly. Good, straight legs, up and down. Every time you bend your knees, a kitten dies. These aren't the rules. I didn't make them up. They're just how the rules are. One and time. Good. Flip it over. Mountain climbers. There we go. Climb that mountain. Awesome, awesome. Hips down. Chest up. Let's get John Michael. I don't know if I see your stuff. And go. Mountain climbers. Get it. Good, Alicia. Get it, girl. Look at those hips down, knees coming up nice and high. Expressing her mobility here. Two, 1, and rest. Very good. Everyone on your feet. Last round. I want burpees all the way down, all the way up. Here we go. And in 3 seconds, 2, 1, and go. Give me burpees. Go. Come on. Jump and clap. Back down fast. Ten seconds left. Good job, Landon. Back down, buddy. That's right, dude. You look great. 1, and rest. Good job, Landon. Looking good, my dude. Yeah, that's right. All my remote peeps are crushing it. I love it. I love it. You should get better at this stuff over time. How many reps did you get that round total? Raise your hand if you got 5 more reps that round. If you did 5 more, you got it. Okay, so here's what I need you to do. Here's what I need you to think. Like Dr. Hahn said, this stuff wasn't physical. It wasn't that he physically wasn't ready to beat Jesper at the World Championships. And it was a close fight, and that guy got second, right? And you go, God, I would love, I would still love to be able to have been in a final match of World Championships. That'd be incredible, right? Absolutely incredible. So here's what you have to think. It wasn't physical for him. It was the mental approach. So for us, this part here, we are training your mind to fight without having to be in the ring, without having it to wait every 2 years for World Championships. What I need you to do right now is we have to find a way to get more. Who thinks they can get 5? Raise your hand if you think you can get 5 more reps this round, total. Somehow, raise your hand if you think you can. Raise your hand, be honest if you're unsure. You're unsure. Here's what I want you to do. Everyone do this with me. Raise your hand as high as you can. High as you can. Good, that's all you got. Okay, do this here. I need you right now to raise your hand 1 more inch. Give me 1 more inch. Raise it up, come on. 1 more. Find an inch, find that inch. Gavin's gonna raise the ceiling. Good. Okay, relax. Who got 1 more inch there? Did I magically come give you arm surgery through the interweb? No. Did Dr. Hahn do a quick mobility adjustment on you? Did his wife adjust your spine? No. What happened? You believed in yourself. Okay, so this last round, I need you to know that you are gonna find a way to give me 5 more reps. 5 good ones, not 5 slops, 5 good reps to win. Yes, sir? All right, here we go, last round. Here we go, let's get after it, guys. Last round, and in, jumping lunges, moving nonstop. You can do it. 3, 2, 1, and go. Push, push, push. Push, awesome, awesome. Good, Landon, good job, buddy. You look great. My goodness, you're improving. Look at that. Good, jumping, just easy. No upper body movement. I love it. No noise, all leg strength. God, that is awesome, buddy. I love it. I love it. And in 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. On your back for V-ups. Face down, or no, back down. Never mind. Here we go. V-ups, here we go. And in 3, 2, 1, and V-ups, go. Come on, come on. You gotta move double time to get extra reps here. You gotta give me 5 more reps this total round. That means nonstop, down and up, down and up. You're gonna find a way. You're gonna train your brain, train your mind. And rest. Good job. Turn it over for mountain climbers. Now you're on the big screen, Carly. Here we go. And in 3, 2, 1, mountain climbers, go. Good job, TJ. Keep those hips down. Hips lower. There you go. Good job, Matt. Hips lower. No stopping, Matt. You got this. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. 2, 1, and rest. Everyone on your feet. Here we go. It's our last set. Stand up. You got it. This is the last round, the last 20 seconds. You've got to give me 1 more burpee than you have in any round and move as fast as you can. Raise your hand if you're ready. Raise your hand if you're ready. All right, here we go. We're committed. The committed club. 3, 2, 1, and go. Burpees, 20 seconds. Jump and clap. There you go. Those are better burpees. These are not sad burpees. Now these are champion burpees. I love it. I love it. Emily, good job. I like that you're here. I'm so proud. You're down and up. You're doing it. You are doing it. We actually can call it a comeback. LL Cool J is wrong. We are calling it a comeback. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right. Good job, you guys. Wow. Show of hands. Who improved on, who had their best score that round? Who had their best score that round? So let me get this straight. After we did all the assessments, after we did all the muscular training and the holds and everything, after we did 2 rounds of the same stuff, your best round was your 3rd round. Is that physically supposed to happen? No, it should not physically happen because you were going all out the first round. I didn't have you pace the first round. That's why I didn't give you a number. I wanted you to go out. What I wanted you to see is if we get your mindset right through this training, right, that this is training for your fighting. We're not doing jazzercise in the living room and they go, oh, I'm ready too. There's no mental connection. Without the mental connection, fitness assessment doesn't mean anything. It's why you could go to your regular gym and get a personal trainer and they'll mimic it. They'll say, oh, I see what Tim does. I'll do the assessment like Dr. Hahn does, right? But how do you interpret that data and make it into a coherent plan that now you can get after for your training? That's what matters. That's why this works. That's why you did better this round, because you had a mental connection that you doing better here was you winning your match. All right, guys, awesome job. I'm gonna throw my stuff up here in the link. I'm gonna turn it over to Steven. I'd love to have any of you, like, with Dr. Hahn, follow his link there. Mine from my remote coaching program. Those of you that are on here, I love seeing you in person. Shout out to all my homies right here. And I always want to have new people we can help achieve your goals. Just like, let's just call it a segue in the industry, just like Mr. Steven. Go ahead, sir.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
What are you doing here?
It's so crazy. Tim from California. So the athletes that I work with, what typically happens is they'll come to me with something along the lines, a statement pretty much along the lines of like, oh, I need to get my cut kick better. And so after a little bit of drilling down, it tends to be after we go through some evaluations and stuff that, let's assume that, you know, you're not a Vietnam vet who has a total hip replacement. And, you know, we'll just assume everybody in here is average Joe competitor at this point. And so, you know, functionally speaking, we don't have to worry about my right leg is 12 inches shorter. We're just going to skip that part because, frankly, if you came to me with that, I'd go, okay, let me give you the contact information of my buddy, Dr. Hahn. He knows how to work with this stuff. So I figured today what we'll do is I'll run you guys through some assessments specifically that I do for the cut kick. Because, frankly, in today's world, it doesn't matter how good you are. All competitive matches come down to who has the better cut kick, basically. And so what I tend to do is I'll break it down into a couple of testers for each component of the kick, because fundamentally, if you come to me and you need, whether you need to work on whether you need to do some strengthening, some mobility, work on your compression strength or technique, if we break it down and isolate those parts and then put them back together, that's whenever we can actually start to make progress on a kick. Because a lot of times you'll have people go, oh man, like, for example, this was one of my problems. Yeah, my cut kicks were great for 90% of the match. It was like the last 10%, I go to Tim and I say, oh man, I'm gassing out on these cut kicks. We talk about it and we broke it down with, okay, we think it's this issue. Let's test it. Let's figure it out. It's just like Dr. Hahn and Tim said, there's not much point in trying to reinvent the wheel. Just like Dr. Hahn said, he has a business advisor. I met Tim in 2006 when I first made the national team, and he literally became, you can ask him and the other people on the team. I used to warm up like him, and I used to start matches like him because, again, yeah, brag. Why reinvent the wheel whenever you can just rip somebody else off and then make it your own? Like, that's 99% of it, right? So let's go through a couple of testers for this cut kick. So if we were breaking it down into the most simple components possible, first of all, we're going to check that base leg, right? So we'll start nice and simple. We're going to go 20 calf raises, nice and controlled with me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, again, super simple. I'm sure none of you rock stars had any trouble with it whatsoever because you guys are all killers. That's why you're here. So that's bare minimum. If we're going to build on that, now we're going to go each leg 20 single leg calf raise. The beginner way of doing this, obviously you're going to put your hand on a wall for balance. That's acceptable. Oh, you know, you're middle-aged, you do taekwondo twice a week, you do it for fun. Great, that's fine. We're not minimum standard athletes here, right? So if you need to, hold on to something, but we're going to go left leg first. We're going to go 20 single leg calf raises. I'm actually going to pull you guys up so I can see if anybody's cheating. Let's see here. Nice and tall, keeping that core nice and braced. There you go. Because remember, if we can't do 20 calf raises on a single leg, how are we expecting to do 40 kicks per round? Like, that's crazy, right? Now, when you're done with that, immediately into right leg, 20. If you're just killing it, go ahead and take your hand down. Should be able to do this, no problem balancing. Super simple, but again, if we target this and we suddenly discover, oh man, I'm sore for a week after 20 calf raises, yeah, great. That's something we can target and we can fix really quick. Give me a thumbs up whenever you're done. Couple, oh, yeah, nice. I got 2 thumbs up, sweet. All right, finishing up, nice and simple, just working, again, that base leg strength, making sure not only can we take off, i.e. exploding that calf raise, not only can we take off, but can we absorb, right? Because again, functionally speaking, if we can't slow our bodies down, our body's not gonna let us produce more power than we're capable of safely absorbing, just like Dr. Hahn said. So for this next one, a little bit of a variant of what we worked on a couple of weeks ago. We're gonna work just like the cut kick that we talked about, where both feet move at the exact same time. We're gonna start A, jump up. B, jump to the side. C, we're gonna jump to the side, but we're gonna land on our base leg only. Just the one, yeah, let's start just left leg. So A, jump, B, side, C, land and absorb. Now what we're gonna focus on that Tim's called out a few times, you have to come to a complete stop on this. So if I go, we know there's a problem, right? Because if I can't absorb my own force, there's no way I'm gonna be able to create an awesome cut kick for 6 minutes straight and then 5 times throughout the day. So we'll break it down with me. We're gonna do a couple of rounds of this. So A, B, C. Nice and simple. Reset. A, B, C. One more time. A, B, C. Nice and simple. So now we're gonna get rid of A and B. We're gonna get set just like we're in a fighting stance. We're gonna jump. You can go for a little bit of height if you want. We're only gonna jump as far as we can control. So if my range of motion is to here, that's cool. We can increase it once we train that. What I don't wanna do, jump and go, because that's too far in my range. So we're gonna hammer out 3 good reps, just straight into the jump, taking off with both feet, landing on one and coming to a complete stop. Ready? 1. Reset. I'm seeing some wobble in there. We got to come to a complete stop. Ready? 2. Oh, there you go. If you're wobbling, shorten it. Remember, if this is too tough, that's okay. Shorten it up. I'd rather you do it right and slow than fast and wrong. So one more, this has got to be the best rep, right? So reset. Ready? 1. There you go. I saw some of you guys shorten it up that time. That's the right call. Remember, once we establish what we're capable of, that's whenever we can start to train and increase things. Ideally, especially for an international competitor, I want that to cover at least 1 square on the mat. Because if we think about it when we're fighting, that's a pretty long kick if you're covering at least 1 square on every single kick. So just a couple of simple base leg things, just a couple of testers just to see where we're at, right? What I really wanted to focus on today was front leg stuff, because front leg seems to give people the most, I guess, issues is the polite way to put it whenever it comes to a high quality cut kick that's not only sustainable, but repeatable. So for this first one, what we're gonna do, I'll let you pick the leg. I'll be nice, we're not gonna do both legs. The beginner tester that I have people do is you can put your hand on something for this one. If you're a little more advanced and feeling a little gutsy today, that's fine, don't use your hand. So for this first one, what we're gonna do, I'll face the camera. We're gonna get into a cut kick, a chambered cut kick position. What we're gonna focus on is, I want theoretically your leg to be parallel to the ground. So it's nice and flat, right? Because that's a quality cut kick. This, not a quality cut kick. Turned over, quality cut kick. What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. So the tester we do here, the bare minimum on this bad boy is, we're gonna hold that for 30 seconds once I say go. A couple of disqualifying factors. If I'm holding the cut kick and this starts to happen, it's all right, you're out. If I'm holding the cut kick and this happens, guess what, you're out. Same thing if you start to lean too far. So I'll let you guys pick which leg you're gonna do. On my count, we don't start until everybody's up. I've actually got a stopwatch for once. So leg up, ready, go. Staying nice and tall, keeping that shin nice and flat. Oh, Poland's, get that leg up. Yep, there you go, good adjustment. Lily, awesome. Rockstar, that's halfway, that's 15 seconds. If you're starting to struggle, it's okay, you can put it down. Or is it? 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, nice. All right, do me a favor, raise your hand if that was tough. Don't worry, the coaches are the only ones that can really see it. Everybody else is paying attention to me or them, right? Yeah, okay. Handful, a couple of hands here and there. If that was tough, you're gonna do it again on the other side this time. We're actually gonna build on it for you killers that crushed that one. So for the next one, same thing. Again, if you feel like you need it for this first one, you can put your hand on something. Extended, about hip level. Exact same thing, we're gonna hold it for 30 seconds. Because if you think about it, we're kicking a big tournament's gonna be 5 matches. If you can't hold your cut kick for 30 seconds, there might be a reason why towards the end of your first match, oh man, cut kick's exhausting, I can't do it. By the end, my quality drops. Well, yeah, you can't.
I ran 5 miles though. Why is my cut right? Why is my cut dropping? Gordon, you have a question?
Same leg, sir, again?
No, let's do the other leg just so I don't crush you on this one. Normally, we would build and stick with one leg just to figure out where you're at. This one, opposite leg this time. So again, extended. The rules on this one, we're making sure we're using that compression strength. So I'm not leaning, right? I'm not doing this. Anybody can do this for 30 seconds. Staying up tall, foot hip level. All right, ready, leg up. Oh, you gotta extend. We don't start till it's extended, friends. There you go, and go. This is the same thing that we talked about earlier. You're not gonna win big matches if you're beating yourself beforehand, right? Like, it's 30 seconds. It might be tough, yeah, you might be shaking, but again, we've got to establish what we can do so that way we can get from point A to point B and complete our objective, right? 10 seconds left. Oh, starting to see some shaking. Oh man. Stephen and Isabel killing it, geez, making me look bad. 3, 2, 1, nice, drop it. All right, so what we're gonna do for this next part, we're gonna drop down to the floor. We're gonna assume, we're gonna drop down to the floor, get into a straddle for me. We're gonna assume 30 seconds, let's say it was tough, right? Ideally, I'd like to get you up to being able to hold it for a minute, right? That's the ideal, the standard of what I try and enforce on athletes for major international competitions. If you're not quite that level, that's totally okay. A lot of times it gets dealing with front leg isolated like that comes down to 2 things. Mobility in our obliques, right? Because if I'm trying to kick with my right leg, but my left side is so tight, it makes it really hard to stay compressed on this side if I can't extend through that side, right? Make sense? Or it comes down to compression strength in that the side that I'm kicking with my right side, isn't strong enough to compress super tight. If you watch somebody like Dae-Hoon Lee, who from the clinch will kick somebody in the face, compression strength, amazing, right? So we really focus on that. We have our technique down, we're mobile enough, and we have good compression strength. Then if we need to build endurance with it, that's fine. That's repetitions. That's the easy part. Getting there is the tough part. So for this first one, scoot back a little bit, make sure you guys can see I'm old. For this first one, we're gonna work on the opposite side. So like if I was kicking right leg, we're gonna work on the opposite side's mobility. So we're gonna take our left hand, or right, depending on which way you're looking at me. We're gonna take our left hand. First, I'll say, start with your right hand, put it down by your left leg. Take your left hand, reach over the top to your toes. What you can use, either a belt or a strap or whatever to help you, just because, like I said, I'm old, I need it. we're going to reach the opposite direction with our hand while we drive towards our toes here. Really working on loosening up that opposite side. So we're gonna hold that for, well, we'll keep it short today. We'll go 45 seconds. Once everybody's down, I'll hit the timer. All right, there you go, and go. So really focusing on opening up your shoulders and staying sideways. We don't want to turn over towards our leg. We want to stay nice and open, letting that work through our side. Yeah, I got some mobility issues in here. Interesting. Go figure. Oh, cut kick's really difficult. I get tired. Yeah, I'm not entirely surprised. That's not that shocking. Let's see where we're at. There you go, almost done. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Up. Nice work. Immediately down to the other side. Left hand goes towards your right leg. Right hand over the top towards your toes. And go. Remember, not rounding over and turning towards the leg, driving our left shoulder to our left leg, reaching over to our toes. Gotta make sure we can actually accommodate the cut kick on the opposite side through those obliques. Halfway there. Reach just a little bit further. Should be kind of getting used to it at this point. There you go, nice work, guys. Sky, crushing it, I like it. And 4, 3, 2, 1, time, nice work. So if that was super easy, like you recorded a video of it and shot it to me, and I saw like, shoulders on the knee, I'm just relaxing, this is easy. What we would do then is we would take a block and put it under the opposite foot. So whichever foot we're reaching to, and opposite foot, whichever foot we're reaching to, we would put a block under that. So we would go and try and go a little bit past that to keep developing strength. So that was a bit of a mobility exercise. We're gonna start to work some compression strength. So if that was a struggle for you, we're not gonna use any weight whatsoever. If you killed it, we would start with something like, for example, I'm 230 pounds and I use a 5-pound weight on this bad boy because it's just that tough. We're gonna reach over our head, holding a weight or nothing at all. And on my count, we're gonna go down as far as we can, starting with, we went right first last time, yeah. So starting right side, attempting to touch our toes, maintaining good form, so I'm not rounding my back and cheating, right? Arms over our head on my count. Ready, down 1, back up. 2, 3. There you go, nice. 4, 5, 6, yep. Make sure staying straight up through your back, not rounding. 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Straight into the other side. Ready, 1. There you go, 2. Nice and tall. 3, 4, 5. Last 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, nice and tall. 10. There you go. Awesome job. You can drop your weight. Again, if you're doing this by yourself, especially during this quarantine, start very, very light in your weight. You don't want to do anything crazy. And once you get the hang of that, we should be doing, ideally, every single kicking session, 3 sets of 10. Like that's the base level of, okay, minimum acceptable standard. So 3 sets of 10. Once that's just one of those, you're firing through it, then you move from a 5 to a 10-pound dumbbell. Real light, slow, incremental adjustments to increase that compression strength. Before we get up, before we bring our legs together, we're gonna take our hands, put them on both sides of one of your legs. We'll start right leg for you. Pointing our toes, so firing through that side, we're going to lift that leg. That's 1 rep. I need 10 reps, please. Nice and controlled the whole way through. I gotta get a little closer because I want to see this one. If that's too difficult, bring your legs together a little bit. If you're bringing it up and dropping it down because you can't control it, bring your legs together a little bit. Again, we can increase the range of motion once we start to develop the skill. At this point, quality over quantity, right? So 10 reps on our left, immediately 10 reps on our right. There you go. Nice, guys. Keep your toes pointed. Nice and controlled. We're not dropping it. Oh, man, you guys are killers. There you go. Finishing up. Last couple of people. There you go. Nice, guys. All right, go ahead and stand up for me. Now we're going to start to put this one together. Get stuff out of the way so I don't fall. We're going to work on that skip cut that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. So a refresher, slide cut, front leg's doing all the work first. Movement comes from the front leg. So slide cut, I'm not jumping both feet at the same time. I'm lifting, dragging, and extending through the cut. For this one, since the testers we did were primarily for that skip cut, jump to the side with the kick. The key reminder and cue for this one that we talked about a few weeks ago is back foot has to touch the ground, same time front foot hits the target. So if we go through what we just worked on, it's that extension through the calf, it's the ability to absorb on the base leg, it's the compression strength of can we bring that leg up, and it's the mobility on the other side of, oh, I don't have to do this to get my leg higher. All I have to do is bring my leg higher. So we're gonna work through, we'll do 5 super high quality reps. So we'll start 2 nice and easy just to make sure we get it. Again, jumping, both feet, same time. Back foot hits the ground, same time front foot hits the target. On my count, first 2, nice and easy. Ready, 1. Reset. 2. All right, now for the high quality ones. This is for the Olympics, right? Get set. 1. Making sure we're still covered. Staying nice and tall. 2. 3. 4. And last one. 5. Switch sides. Ready. 1. Reset. 2. 3. 4. And last one, best one, right? 5. There you go. Nice work, guys. So again, those are just a couple of drills. If we break it down into components, it's easier to fix the whole picture. Now, let's say we've mastered all of this. That's whenever we come into, oh, I get tired by the end of the match. It's what Tim talked about a couple of weeks ago of neuromuscular endurance, right? We have to be able to be repeatable and sustainable throughout the entire match. It doesn't matter if you can do 40 kicks in the first round, 40 kicks in the second round, and then you do 2 kicks in the third round. It has to be 40, 40, 40. So ideally, the tester I would use from here is I go, you need to be able to do 36 rounds of 20 seconds on, or excuse me, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, alternating legs. So round 1, right leg, round 2, left leg. The idea behind that is, theoretically, what we should have is about 6 reps, each round about 6 reps, with constant quality across. So the 36th round should be as good as the first round. Why 36 rounds? Because 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off of 36 rounds is literally 3 matches. That's the bare minimum acceptable standard, because World Championships is never going to be 3 matches. It's always going to be 5 to 7 matches no matter what. And so if we're aiming for anything short of 36, that's pretty much lowballing it, I'd say. So again, mobility, strengthening, that compression strength that we talked about, and technique. That's the name of the game these days.
Yep. Steven, that makes, I love how, one thing I noticed that in a lot of other sports, obviously that's why Dr. Hahn works with the Major League Soccer team, the LA Football Club, right? Because other sports, they see the stuff this way. They say, well, we have to get people, ready in this way, but to make sure their body works well, they're investing millions of dollars in athletes and do it. From a strength and conditioning side, there's lots of sports that are kind of doing the structure that I get to work with there. But what I really love is not many people put that in Taekwondo specific terms of here's how many kicks per round. That means you have to be able to train it at this interval with this type of piece and building on those parts. So that's super valuable to everyone here to have that insight and not guessing. I mean, we keep hitting on it just because we believe it so much that when you start guessing, you're allowed to guess. Like, we're not saying you can't guess on your stuff. We're just saying it's going to take you 10 times as long to figure it out, to do that, right? And so I think that's a really valuable thing for you to help them with. What's the link they can find you at if they want to work with you and have on your stuff, on with your program? Is it Reddit?
Yeah, it's Reddit and Carbon Echo.
Carbon Echo. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you can. Obviously, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram a whole lot more. Or I'll type up my email address in the comments here, so that way you guys can reach out to me. But I appreciate you and Dr. Hahn, especially because it's like we came from that era where it's like you would have a coach go, "Oh, kick faster," and it's like, "Okay, how?" And they go, "Yeah, just faster."
No crap.
And what's crazy about it is like, I was at the OTC last year, and we were doing a training camp, and one of the new coaches, he was having us do this weird kick, and I said, "Okay, like I'm having troubles, I'm not making good contact. What's wrong here?" And he goes, "Just do it." And I went, "All right, cool, man." Like, and that's fine. That works for some people, but
we were literally at a training camp 4 years ago, and that happened. They were trying to work on, I forget what the drill was, but you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And high-level coaches, and they said, "Oh, hey, when this happens, and they try and cancel your kick out, and then someone goes like, well, what happens next?" And just no one answered it. No, it was just like, well, if they do that, like, all right, like, guess we're gonna leave. Like, we have to push ourselves to the forefront to try and find these answers and not settle for not knowing. And there's times that, I'm a big believer that we're still students first, teachers second, right? If you see us working with anyone, what I love about it is I get so many insights into everyone's training here, and it forces me to have to come back and question what I'm doing and do it better and get there faster, not just do the same thing we did in 2016 or 2018, that we've got to get it forward. And we're already planning on stuff. Well, what's it going to look like in 2024? What qualities do you need now so I can train you ahead of the curve? So when you're there, you're not doing 2020 stuff, right? That's backwards thinking. We have to kind of push ourselves as coaches to do that for you. So that way you have the tools you need. Doc, you want to add on to this?
Yeah, I think it's refreshing to see. Again, I've worked with Steve for a while now, but to see him as an athlete, but what he's applied over the years working with Tim and a little bit of myself and how he's put it together, it's like, it's kind of cool, really cool to see, and just the application of it all. And then for everyone out there that's watching, it's like, we don't expect you to understand everything that we're telling you right now. Like, we don't expect. It's like, we've been doing this for 10, 20 years. So, it's important just to understand that you don't have to know it all right now. And I think that the biggest thing that works with our remote coaching and just individualized stuff is that we get to, like Tim said, we get to know you and your training background in order to come up with a plan. If you go in the old school, like national team, we would go and do camp, right? And then depending on who the coach was, it was 2 a days, it was 3 a days. But they didn't even take into consideration that some of us didn't even do 2 or 3 a days.
Yeah.
So,
or Doc, think of this. Remember, there's that. And even when they did do stuff that was good, I was doing the same training plan as Stewart, our heavyweight.
Right.
Right. It's like, and that is always, And it was a good plan. It was better than what other people were doing back in 03.
Right.
But you look at it and you go, that's not so, like I was doing the same training plan as our 6'6", 250-pound heavyweight who had like 19 injuries.
Yeah, like I've been fortunate and privy enough to be with enough professional teams. Like with the LA Football Club, in general, the strength and conditioning programs are rather similar for all the field players. Obviously, the goalkeepers are going to be a little different. But when you go into the NFL, I was with the Steelers back in the day. You know, your D-backs, your linemen, your quarterbacks, your wideouts, everyone had a different program to target the specific needs on the field. You know, and then that's really important to say, because like you're not going to train these guys to run 3, 4, 5 miles when they're explosive players, right? Yeah, maybe in the off season we're building an aerobic base, but they're not going to waste their time during season. Hey, go run 3 miles. It makes absolutely no sense. So we have to know where you are in season, the capabilities that you have in general, what's in your natural. That's my daughter. Say hi, sweetheart. Okay, we have our mini pool out here. It's like yay big. But it's important to realize that you need people that understand all of these parts to help determine what is the best road for you. You know, so.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think that's a good place to kind of leave it. Steven, anything you want to add on there, or
No, that's perfect. Yeah, it's reach out to us, guys. Like we're here, and it's when you make it to the top, you're supposed to create more space at the table, not block other people off. And so it's one of those, the style of coaching of, do it faster. Yeah, that's very 1980s. Guess what? We're coming up on 2021. Like it's time for a change.
Yep. Yeah, big time. Last thing I'll say here, and we'll kind of wrap up, just a little kind of breakdown of you guys' thought process. Who here, when we first heard, and be honest, we first heard it was going to be a quarantine, going to be a shutdown, who here thought, I'm going to lose all my skill, all the things I've worked, even for a second, all the things I've worked for, all the stuff I did is going to go away at some level, even if a little bit. I'm going to give you 1% worse. Rachel, be honest, right? That's common, right? A little bit. You see, who here that's already working with a coach remotely, you're working with me or Dr. Hahn or Steven, who here had that maybe happen for a split second and then you pick back up on your normal training the next day? It's the same thing, right? Those people that we're working with already. Yeah, that's the idea, is that we should be able to move forward. Now, those of you that don't, right? Who here now has been like, I've improved somehow through this online platform, through online training? Who here's improved? And be honest. Like, and if you haven't, like, again, be honest about that too, but you've improved somehow. So we know we can do this. We know we can improve. We know that the limiters, when it was the conditioning piece, and it was that last round, you were already fatigued. You still improved. You still got better. And why was that? Because you said you were going to get better. That's all it came down to. You decide you're going to get better. We will figure out a way for you to get there. Right? But the other part, I can't overcome that part for you. I can't overcome you not wanting it. I can't overcome you not putting in the work. All right, we've already put in the work ourselves. We continue to put in the work ourselves. We can meet you there. We can help show you a path for you to help get there, whatever that means for you. Right? Some people it's competitive. Some people it's just the journey. Some people it's all different, totally different goals. That's fine. But the part we can't control for you is your mindset, your intent. We showed you that you can control that. You can decide to get better. So we'd love to help you guys keep getting better now. We know this isn't going away. We've been doing it for a decade here. We'd love to be helping you in a decade or just for the near future, really unlock some of your full potential. Thank you guys so much. Last thing, we all go off spotlight. Let's go on the big grid here, and just high fives all around, guys. Thank you so much for everyone. We appreciate you. Should we do these at some point in the future again? At some point, maybe in a month or two, something like that? Yeah, are we good? Yeah? Okay, well, if you insist. If you insist. You insist. Well, thank you guys so much. We got to run here. Have a great rest of your weekend. We appreciate you very much putting on the work. All of our remote clients, we see you already. Got so many of you on here. It means the world to us. So thank you guys very much. Ryan, good to see you on here. Mark, good to see you again today. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Century, 10 a.m. Pacific. Be on my Century training. We're gonna do a lot of what we did today, but I want to show everyone that our Taekwondo people we can represent. At 10 a.m. tomorrow Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll throw the link up on Facebook or something. And then next Saturday, we have the world's biggest Taekwondo class. And that's it. All right. Yeah, right. It rocks. We rock. You guys rock. We'll see you very soon, okay?
See ya.
You got it. Yeah, I'll send the link out. You got it. Thanks, guys. Peace.
See ya.
Thanks, Stephen.
See you.